welcome to the Midday News on VOP TV. I am Moses Humphrey. First, the headlines. Criticism praises as President Bola Tinubu marks first-year anniversary in office amidst economic hardship. Trade Union Congress threatens nationwide strike over unresolved issues of minimum wage with the federal government. Former Central Bank of Nigeria's Governor Godwin Emefiele did not get approval for Naira redesign. Former CBN Director Ahmed Umar reveals. And now the news in detail. It's exactly 1 year today since Bola Tinubu was sworn in as president, and on May 29, 2023, after a keenly contested election in February, same year. And since then, Nigerians have witnessed Tinubu's government introduce some reforms like petrol subsidy removal and unification of the foreign exchange windows, but continues to battle the effects of such policies with soaring inflation rates and high cost of living crisis. The president's handling of the state of the economy has attracted criticism from many Nigerians, including elder statesmen and the organized labor. Citizens, however, have voiced their concerns, urging the government to focus on key areas as he marks 365 days in office.
Better democracy, let them try to bring our dollar down so that all the things in the market to come down and all the price of things to come down. And number two, fuel. Fuel is the major things. If you go to buy something from market now, the thing is supposed to be 10 naira. They will say 2 naira because they want to add fuel money. Even orange, apple, everything in the market will go up. So if they go and they reduce the price of fuel, it come down even 2 naira a liter. To be good for Nigeria.
As celebrate democracy, I want the government to work on employment for the youth, education, and good road.
I want government to take care of for us because we are sovereign. No food to eat, no education, no tea for children to go school. We cannot produce some material for our children to go school. We are not feeling better as we used to feel before. So we want government to do something.
Meanwhile, former President Muhammadu Buhari has extended his best wishes to President Bola Tinubu on completing his first year in office. In a statement issued on Tuesday, Buhari called on Nigerians to strengthen national unity and goodwill. Buhari also urged citizens to support the Tinubu administration, expressing hope for its success in building a prosperous Nigeria. He emphasized the importance of collective effort in achieving the nation's dreams. Opposition political parties have given a poor rating to the All Progressives Congress APC administration under President Bola Tinubu 1 year after he took office. They argue that the government has failed to deliver a better life for Nigerians. The People's Democratic Party, PDP, described Tinubu's first year as the most challenging since the Civil War. PDP National Publicity Secretary Debo Ologunagba criticized Tinubu's economic policies, citing rising insecurity, poverty, and hardship. Ologunagba pointed to the removal of fuel subsidy and the floating of the naira as detrimental policies that lacked adequate consideration for citizens' welfare. He argued that these policies have led to extreme poverty and disillusionism amongst Nigerians. Similarly, Action Democratic Congress ADC National Chairman Ralph Oke-Nwosu criticized Tinubu's policies, stating that they have left the Nigerian economy in disarray. Well, however, APC National Publicity Director Bala Ibrahim dismissed the opposition's criticism, asserting that President Tinubu has provided clear direction and foresight, with Nigerians beginning to see the benefits. Similarly, Labour Party lawmakers have criticized Tinubu's administration, labeling it as filled with empty promises. The Minority Caucus condemned the government for the worsening insecurity and economic hardship, which they argue contradicts Tinubu's Renewed Hope campaign. The lawmakers highlighted Tinubu's initial pledge to create a robust national security architecture to eliminate terrorism, kidnapping, and banditry. They urged the president to urgently focus on alleviating the suffering of Nigerians by ensuring food security, clean water, healthcare, and education. And away from that, the president of the Trade Union Congress, TUC, Festus Osifo, has emphasized the urgent need for the government to address the issue of a new minimum wage with seriousness or risk nationwide strike. Labor unions and the federal government have been in negotiation for months, with the unions setting a deadline of May 31st. Initially, Labour demanded 615,000 naira minimum wage, but have since lowered their demand to 494,000 naira minimum wage. In contrast, the government and the organized private sector proposed 48,000 naira, which later went up to 54,000 naira, which Labour has rejected. During a meeting of the Minimum Wage Committee on Tuesday, Labour rejected the federal government's latest proposal of 60,000 naira. Citing the country's economic realities, Osifo pointed to Nigeria's inflation rate of 33.69% as of April 2024, according to the National Bureau of Statistics, NBS, as a key reason for rejecting the proposal. The Minister of State for Labour and Employment in Kiruka, Onyejocha, has appealed to organized labour for consideration and patriotism in their ongoing negotiations for a new national minimum wage. Onyejocha emphasized the government's commitment to securing a fair wage amid economic recovery challenges, urging labour to recognize the nation's financial constraints post-pandemic. She highlighted President Bola Tinubu's efforts to revitalize the economy and called for collective action to address complex economic issues. The minister expressed optimism about reaching a mutually beneficial agreement and reaffirmed the government's dedication to improving citizens' living standards through inclusive economic policies. You're watching the Midday News on VOP TV. More stories after this break. Stay with us. Well, thanks for staying with us. Former Central Bank of Nigeria Governor Godwin Emefiele is now facing trial over allegations of unauthorized naira redesign. On Tuesday, the former CBN Director of Operations, Ahmed Umar, testified that the late 2022 naira redesign was not approved by the Committee of Governors. Emefiele, charged by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, on May 15, is accused of proceeding with the naira redesign without the necessary approvals from the CBN board. And then President Muhammadu Buhari. The EFCC claims Emefiele spent 18.96 billion naira on printing and swapping new naira notes, violating Section 19 of the CBN Act. The trial opened with Umar as the first witness, who confirmed that the redesign proposal was presented but not approved by the Committee of Governors. Emefiele has denied all allegations, pleading not guilty to charges including the illegal expenditure on naira printing and unauthorized withdrawals from the Consolidated Revenue Fund. And now to Kano State, Governor Abba Yusuf has instituted a ban on all public gatherings intended for protest within the state. This decision was communicated through a statement by his Director General of Media and Publicity, Sanusi Tofa. The directive orders the police, Department of State Services, DSS, and Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, NSCDC, to arrest, detain, and prosecute anyone violating this ban. The governor's action is described as a precautionary measure to prevent potential disruptions and maintain public order. According to the statements, there is credible intelligence suggesting that opposition figures are planning to incite chaos by sponsoring students' associations and political agitators. These efforts allegedly aims to advocate for the dethroned Emir of Kano, Aminu Ado Bayero, where Yusuf has warned against any form of protest, demonstrations, or processions, and cautioned student groups to avoid being used by those intent on causing disorder. He assured citizens that the government is closely monitoring the situation to maintain peace and order in the state. The Forum of Chiefs in Nigeria has called on Sanusi Lamido Sanusi to comply with a federal high court order and vacate the Kano's Emir's palace immediately. In a statement released on Wednesday, the forum emphasized the importance of upholding the court's ruling to ensure peace and stability in Kano State. Jointly signed by President Chief Ame Adaji and Secretary General Chief Danladi Etsu, the statement highlighted that leadership relies on the support of the people and that illegal occupation of the palace is unacceptable. The chiefs urged Sanusi, as a former custodian of culture and tradition, to respect the law and avoid actions that could lead to violence or unrest. Well, the Senate has successfully passed the National Anthem Bill 2024, aimed at reinstating the former national anthem, Nigeria We Hail Thee. Now, this bill swiftly progressed through both its first and second readings last Thursday, and it currently awaits President Bola Tinubu's assent to become law. VOP TV's Matthew Gunsuada tells us more in this report.
In a swift legislative move, the Nigerian Senate has made a historic decision by passing the National Anthem Bill 2024. This bill, which aims to bring back the familiar strains of Nigeria We Hail Thee, marks a significant shift in the country's cultural landscape. The Senate decision to pass the National Anthem Bill 2024 comes as a nod to Nigeria's rich history and cultural heritage, as the bill seeks to replace the current national anthem, Arise, O Compatriots, with the beloved anthem that once echoed across the nation in its early years of independence. Composed in 1960 by Lillian Jean Williams and Francis Bada, Nigeria We Hail Thee served as a symbol of unity and aspiration during Nigeria's nascent years, while its melodies stirred patriotism and solidarity among Nigerians, leaving an indelible mark on the nation's collective consciousness. During the Senate's deliberation, there was a palpable sense of reverence for the anthem's historical relevance. Senate leader Okpeyemi Bamidele emphasized its ability to evoke nostalgia and fond memories, urging his colleagues to honor Nigeria's past by reinstating the old national anthem.
This is the first time, like I said, that elected representatives of the Nigerian people will be taking a position on this.
The bill now awaits assent into law by President Bola Tinubu. VOP TV took to the streets to gather public opinion on the Senate's decision. Here is what they have to say.
The national anthem is not the problem of the country. Even if they change a new one, or they go back to the old one, or they form a new one, it has nothing to do with Nigeria's problem. Nigeria's problem is more deeper than national anthem. It's just a song. National anthem is just a song. The problem on guys is bigger than a song. So they should do what is necessary, not national anthem.
My opinion on the national anthem is that they should leave it where it was, because it was composed by our own Nigeria. That national anthem is more or less a prayer
for us and a guide to us. Arise, O compatriots, she gave me, than the old one that was composed by a white lady.
Our problem for country, not be national anthem. One, let's think about how Nigeria will grow, how Nigeria will be great, and not national anthem. National anthem is not our problem. For me, it's not my problem. My problem is how bag of rice will become 10,000, 5,000 naira. That's my problem. My problem is how fuel will become 3 naira, I be 10 naira, I be 20 naira. That's my problem. My problem is how we're going to get lights. My problem is how we're going to open border. That's my problem. What be national anthem?
From the streets of Lagos, these are just a few reactions of citizens towards the proposed change in the national anthem from Arise, O compatriots to Nigeria We Hail Thee. The bill finally awaits assent into law by the President of Nigeria, President Bola Tinubu. Matthew Ogunswada, for Voice of the People TV.
Well, the federal government of Nigeria has instructed outgoing vice-chancellor of federal universities to nominate their deputies to temporarily assume the role of acting vice-chancellors. This directive, issued by the National Universities Commission (NUC) through a letter dated May 28, 2024, follows a mandate from the Federal Ministry of Education, signed by NUC's acting executive secretary, Chris Mayaki. The letter indicates that the recommendations for acting vice-chancellors should come from the university's Senate. These acting vice-chancellors will serve until the new governing councils are inaugurated, at which point they will appoint interim vice-chancellors for at least 6 months. During this period, the process of selecting permanent vice-chancellors will begin. This directive supersedes any previous communication on the matter. You're still watching the midday news on VOP TV. More stories on business and sports after this break. Welcome back. The Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu on Tuesday unveiled the state's comprehensive transport policy, aimed at providing a regulatory framework to enhance the efficiency and sustainability of the transport system. The launch event, held in Ikeja, saw the governor represented by Deputy Governor Dr. Obafemi Hamzat. The policy divides the state's transport system into 14 critical elements, including road infrastructure, rail, air transport, and traffic management. Sanwo-Olu highlighted the policy's foundation on inclusivity, sustainability, and innovation, stressing its aim to address long-standing challenges such as traffic congestion, pollution, and inadequate infrastructure. The governor noted that the new policy is a response to these issues, aiming to create a safer, more efficient and sustainable environment for all Lagos residents. The governor also remarked on the importance of integrating various modes of transport, emphasizing that the policy embodies the government's commitment to provide safe, reliable and affordable transportation options for all residents, regardless of socioeconomic status. This initiative follows a 4-year journey towards revolutionizing Lagos' transportation system, aiming to alleviate traffic congestion and improve overall urban mobility by addressing the needs of all Lagosians. The policy seeks to transform challenges into opportunities for innovation and improvement. Well, the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, has uncovered 122 illegal oil refining sites across the Niger Delta region in the past week, highlighting ongoing efforts to combat oil theft and vandalism. A filling station in Akwa Ibom State was sealed for selling illegally refined fuel, and 65 illegal pipeline connections were removed in Rivers and other states. The NNPCL reported that 310 incidents were recorded between May 18 and 24, indicating the scale of the challenge. Additionally, 33 suspects were arrested and several vehicles and boats used for transporting illegal products were confiscated. NNPCL Group CEO Milikiari emphasized the importance of addressing these security challenges to stabilize oil production and attract investment. He noted that oil theft and vandalism significantly impacts the nation's crude oil output, making it difficult to deliver production to the market. Over the past 2 years, the NNPCL has removed over 5,800 illegal pipelines, connections, and dismantled more than 6,000 illegal refineries. These efforts are crucial in ensuring the infrastructure needed to increase oil production and ensure that investments in the sector yield positive results. Now, taking you to the world of sports, the Confederation of African Football has clarified that next year's Africa Under-17 World Cup of Nations, Under-17 Cup of Nations, will still have 12 finalists in attendance, as against the minimum of 16 teams being projected by African football enthusiasts. This means that despite defeating host nation Ghana in Tuesday's third-place match of the WAFU B Under-17 Championship, the Golden Eaglets of Nigeria have not qualified for the finals. The final tournament will still have 12 teams. CAF's Director of Competitions, Samson Adamu, told reporters. Expectations had been high among African football enthusiasts that the 2025 Africa Under-17 Cup of Nations would be expanded following FIFA's allocation at its Congress in Bangkok penultimate week of 10 slots to the continent for the 2025 FIFA Under-17 World Cup that Qatar has been designed to host. Qatar will host 5 consecutive FIFA Under-17 World Cup finals beginning next year, each having 48 teams in attendance. Now, the head coach of South Africa's national football team, Bafana Bafana, Hugo Broos, is set to announce his final squad for the upcoming 2026 World Cup qualifiers against Nigeria's Super Eagles and Zimbabwe on Thursday. This announcement comes as the team prepares to face 2 crucial matches in their bid to qualify for the prestigious tournament. Bruce has been working with a preliminary squad, fine-tuning his team's strategy and tactics, and the final squad announcement is highly anticipated. The coach has been impressed with the players' performance in recent friendlies and training sessions, and the selected squad is expected to be a strong and formidable one. The Super Eagles clash, in particular, is expected to be a thrilling encounter given the long-standing rivalry between the two teams. Bafana Bafana will be looking to capitalize on their home advantage and secure a crucial win against their West African opponents. The final squad announcement will provide insight into Bruce's game plan and strategy for the upcoming matches, and fans are eagerly waiting to see which player will make the cut. With the 2026 World Cup just around the corner, the stakes are high, and Bafana Bafana will be giving it their all to secure a spot in the coveted tournament. And finally, to entertainment, Nollywood actress and producer Ruth Kaduri has expressed her concern about the unavailability of immunization vaccines in Nigerian hospitals. She recently took to her Instagram page to share her frustration, revealing that her daughter has not been vaccinated for over a year due to the lack of vaccines at the hospitals. Well, Kadri emphasized that mothers across the country are facing the same issue, so she urged the federal government to take action to tackle the vaccination issue in Nigeria. And that's it on the midday news on VOP TV. But before we go, let's take another look at our major stories. Criticisms, praises, as President Bola Tinubu marks first-year anniversary in office amid economic hardship. Trade Union Congress threatens nationwide strike over unresolved issues of minimum wage with the federal government. Former Central Bank of Nigeria's governor, CBN, Godwin Emefiele, did not get approval for Naira redesign. Former CBN Director Ahmed Umaru reveals. Well, do well to subscribe to our YouTube channel, the Voice of the People TV, and on other social media platforms. We are at VOP TV Live. I'm Moses Humphrey. Good afternoon.